We were talking about zeros yesterday, and that's where the graph crosses the x-axis. This one's already factored for you. Like, yeah, we could distribute this out, but how it's written tells us the zeros right off the bat. When are each of these sets of parentheses equal to 0? When x is -1, 3, and -4. We don't have to worry about those powers because what we technically do, honestly, I wouldn't even write this down if I were you, but what you're technically doing is setting each of them equal to 0. And what would be your first step to start solving for x in this? To get rid of that square root. And the square root of 0 is always just going to be 0. So that's why you get to ignore the powers to find the zeros. So let's go and write those. Our zeros are, Phoebe said, -1, 3, and -4. And let's go to our graph. -1, 3, and -4. Okay, now you guys, we got to figure out what's the general shape of this graph going to be. What would this power get me? This is going to be an x to the second times x to the third is going to get me x to the fifth times one more x to the sixth. If it's x to the sixth, what's my general shape going to be? X to the sixth is going to be like this. And how many people are like, well, this is weird. There's a lot going on there. Well, let me show you. Could the graph look like this? Okay. Could the graph look like this? Couldn't it still look like that? It's not still the same general shape? Cole says, but now we're down with it. Okay, so we've got options, and we got to figure out which one it is. So here's what we've got to do, and this is, again, something to help prep us for AP Calc. This is called a sign chart, S-I-G-N, a sign. So here, do we have enough space? I think we have enough space. Here's what I want you to do. Can you put it, I know, right? I would say put it right here, right at the bottom. And we have our three numbers, -4. We're going to put them in order from least to greatest. -4, -1, and 3. And personally, I like to circle them. And those are x values. Those are our zeros, just like we wrote right here. Those are x's. And then above, I'm going to write p of x. And you're like, why did you write p of x? Because that's what they named my function right here. And we need to plug in values. Yeah, we need to plug in values. Here's the deal. Mr. Paxton, can you give me a number that's less than -4 on the number line? Oh, sure. I'm going to write that right there. What about between -1 and -4? Sure. What about between 3 and 1? Negative of mine. Yeah. 2. Could I have done 0? Sure. I'm going to do 0 because I love 0. Bigger than 3? 4. Great. So you guys, this is funky. This is new. This is going to be a little uncomfortable, but we can do this. We know that these are our zeros. What we want to do is we want to plug these numbers that Paxton gave right into this factored thing. And I'm only curious about the sign, positive or negative. I don't care about the value. So if I plug in a -5 right here, what is anything squared always going to be? Positive. Anything squared is always going to be positive. So this is going to be a positive value. If I plug in -5 right here, -5 minus 3 is something negative. If you cube a negative, is that positive or negative? Negative. So I would get a positive times a negative. And then what's -5 plus 4, positive or negative? Positive. -5 plus 4? Isn't that negative? That's okay. So we had a positive times a negative, which is a negative, times a negative again. It's a positive number. So anything that we plug in less than -4 is going to have a positive value. I would just put a little plus sign there. It's going to have a positive value. And I know this is funky. We're going to practice this because this is uncomfortable. We're going to go do the same thing with plugging in a -3. When you plug in a -3 up here, I don't even have to think about this guy because squaring anything makes it positive. What about a -3 minus 3 cubed? Don't care about the value. Is it positive or negative? -3 minus 3 is a negative number. When you cube a negative, still negative. What about -3 plus 4? Is positive. What's a negative times a positive? Negative. So any number between -1 and -4 will be a negative value. I know this is funky. Stay with me. What if we plug in a 0? Positive. What's 0 minus 3 is negative. Cubed is negative. What about 0 plus 4? Hi, Mr. Cole. So I have to have a negative value from -4 to -1, but I have to have more negative values again. So I'm going to go like this, woo! And then everything after 3 has to have a positive value, so that means I'm above. It is like a W. But if Charlie would have been like this, woo! Woo! Like, it doesn't matter how low your dips are going. It just has to have that general shape. So on this one, I said, hey, given this polynomial, where is the function greater than 0 or above the x-axis? Okay, what are my zeros? Let's start with just what are my zeros? X is 2, 5, -7. Those are the 3 values that we're going to put on our number line. We won't always have 3 values, but we happen to have 3 in this one. -7, 2, then 5. I like to put them in least to greatest order. I like to say, hey, those are x's, and I'm going to plug them into the p of x again. That's what we named this function. Lots of p of x. Aaliyah, can you give me a number less than -7? -8 sounds good. How about a number between 2 and -7?
0.
I love a 0. Between 2 and 5?
3.
Bigger than 5?
6.
Beautiful. Okay. Guys, this is the most uncomfortable part. This is uncomfy. We're going to go plug these in to the function. Here's my question. Leo, if I plug in a -8 and I subtract 2 from it, would that be positive or negative? Negative. And maybe you guys we're having to try to do too much in our head, so maybe you want to write it down. Like, that's getting me a negative times. What's anything to the 4th power going to be? Anything to an even power will always be positive. It'll always make it positive. That's what you meant to say. So literally, I'm just going to cover it up. I don't even care. That's always going to be a positive value. And what happens when I plug that -8 in over here? -8 plus 7 would be a negative something, right? So what is a negative times a negative? Positive. So this anything to the left of -7 is going to be above that x-axis. A little more sense, okay? And I literally just ignored this middle one because it's always going to be positive. Let's plug a 0 in. I'm not plugging in a 0, and I'm going to do this in blue. Whoop! 0 minus 2 is negative. 0 plus 7 is positive. What's a negative times a positive? Negative. Let's go plug a 3 in. What's a 3 minus 2? True, positive. What is a 3 plus 7? What's a positive times a positive? Beautiful. Thanks, Adi. Lastly, what is, I'm going to go purple, 6 minus 2, positive or negative?
Positive.
What is 6 plus 7?
Positive.
Positive times a positive? Is a positive. Okay. So, look what they said. Where is my function greater than or equal to 0? Where is it above that x-axis? And you could say from, and I kind of wish that I had, let's just draw ourselves a really basic graph. Give yourself a basic xy axis, and we're going to just say that's -7, that's 2, and that's 5. Doesn't have to be perfect. And it's saying, let's talk about what this general shape would be as well. What's this general shape going to be? What's my exponent on this guy? This one is, come on, where's my pencil? 1 times x to the 4th would get me an x to the 5th times x to the 1st is x to the 6th. So it's going to be this shape again. It's going to be that shape again, but we don't quite know what to do with these zeros. But we do know it's got to cross through there, there, and there. We've got to cross through our zeros. Everything to the left of -7 in this case is positive. That just means it's above the x-axis. So we're going to say, all right, we're coming in hot here, above the x-axis. Then, you guys, between -7 and 2, we have to be below that x-axis. And then we have to be above again. So you agree if I've got to have negative values, -7 to 2, I got to be negative. But then at 2, I got to start being positive again. So I got to go above that x-axis. So I'm going to cross over it. And then I still have to have a 0 at 5. So I'm going to go hit that 0. And then what am I going to do? Go negative or go back up? Go back up and be positive. Whoop! Does that have the general shape of x to the 6th? Guys, I'm proud of you. Good work.
That was more sense.
Better? Okay, I love it. That's what I'm going to add. We're going to do some funky things. And I think I'm going to tell you, like, you're going to be uncomfortable. Then we're going to try it again, and we're going to get it in little bites, okay? So look what they said. Where is my function, if I uncovered it, greater than or equal to 0? We got to talk about intervals. Intervals that we could get from that sign chart that we did, or we could get it from the graph that we just made. Where would we say it's greater than or equal to 0 for x values? Negative infinity to -7, bracket or parentheses if they said, where's it greater than or equal to 0? Bracket. So that was anything above the x-axis. Where else can we say? Would it be 2 to 5 and 5 to infinity, or would it be 2 to infinity? It's going to be 2 to infinity because it's greater than or equal to 0. Because it's greater than or equal, we get to include it, and we're going to just say bracket 2 to infinity. How many zeros do we have on this one? Gross. When would negative x equal 0? No, we get uncomfortable with these. When does negative x equal 0? What's 0 divided by anything? Yeah. So we've got a root of 0 on this one. 0, what else? Uh-huh. And? Yep. Okay, so our zeros are 0, -1, -3, and 5. We're going to go put those on a number line. Boop. Least to greatest, -3, -1, 0, 5. Those are x's. Now we're going to plug those into f of x. Can you give me a number less than -3?
-4.
Word between -1 and -3. Thanks, Axel.
-2.
-2. Between 0 and -1?
-0.5.
Love it. Between 0 and 5?
2.
Bigger than 5?
6.
Beautiful. Okay, guys. Which of these can we ignore up here because they're going to be positive? Yeah, the x minus 5 to the 8th is always going to be positive. X plus 1 to the 2nd, always going to be positive. This takes some mental math. Here we go. What happens if I plug a -4 in right here?
That's no.
Minus -4 would make it positive. It's just going to be 4. A positive times a -4 in here. Negative. Positive times a negative would be negative. What if I plug a -2 right here? Yep, positive. -2 right here. Positive. Positive times a positive. Beautiful. -0.5 right here. Positive times a, careful, -0.5 times plus 3 would be a positive, so it's positive again. 2. Negative times a positive is a, beautiful, guys, you're crushing, 6. Negative times a is a, beautiful. Okay, guys, I'm so proud. Here we go. Where is my function less than 0? That just means when is it negative? I feel like looking at a graph is helpful. Let's just check out what a graph would look like. What's the exponent going to be? Let's see. This is x to the first times x to the second would get us x to the... Sorry, my iPad is broken like your brains are right now. This right here is going to get us x to the third times 1 would be x to the fourth times x to the 8th would be x to the 12th. What's the general shape? We've had a lot of this. Yeah. But Phoebe's saying this because of that negative, right? We're going to be facing down. Okay. All right. Well, let's go draw on our zeros. We got a -3, a -1, a 0, and a 5. I don't care what the partitions are, if you will. And we're saying it's going to be a frowny face. And does that make sense with where we're starting?
Yeah.
It says everything to the left of -3 has to be negative. So you're like, okay, I'm going to start underneath the x-axis. Between -3 to -1, it's going to be positive, but also from -1 to 0, it's going to be positive. So I'm going to say positive. I'm going to go back and hit my 0. Oh, boy. I'm going to go positive, hit my 0, go positive again. Then from 0 to 5, we have to be negative, and after 5, we have to be negative. So I've got to be negative from 0 to 5, hit the 0, and I've got to be negative after. Does that still have the same general shape? Wow. Okay, final answer then, in interval notation, where is this graph less than 0? They don't want it equal to 0. Where is it underneath that x-axis? From where to where do we think?
Parentheses, negative infinity, -3.
So good. And on that -3, we're going to do a parentheses because we can't be equal to 0 and it equals 0 there. Where also is this less than 0 underneath that x-axis?
Parentheses 0 could you just do all of this?
I wish, but if we said at 5, it equals 0 there, and they just want less than. So Cole?
It's 0 to 5 and then 5 to infinity.
And 5 to infinity. Yeah.